2002.
Yes.
Very important year in the Epstein story.
Yeah.
2002 is when journalist Vicky Ward, she works here in New York City, Vanity Fair magazine.
This is the Vanity
And
Fair
Vanity
article.
Fair. This is the very first premier magazine to say, who is this guy?
Yes.
Graydon Carter, the legendary Condé Nast editor, king of New York society. It basically works with Vicky and says, hey, let's go write about this Epstein figure. Vicky eventually uncovers evidence of the young women trafficking, of the intelligence community ties, and all of this in 2002.
How does she uncover this?
Because she does a great job. She goes and interviews these people. That guy, Stephen Hoffenberg, who's in prison, she interviewed him in prison, and she didn't print his quotes until 20 years later because it was shut down by Graydon Carter. Now, Joey, can you please put up the story from New York
tell
Magazine?
us why Graydon Carter would be able to? I understand the name Condé Nast, but maybe explain. What I'm having here in front of me is a very crazy story. Is that according to Carter, somebody put a bullet outside of his I think it was either outside of his house or wherever he was, and a dead cat to intimidate him while he is investigating the Epstein story. And so it eventually comes out. What is Condé Nast?
Condé Nast, I mean, they own Vogue. They employ, if anyone's ever seen The Devil Wears Prada, like that's based on Vogue magazine, and Anna Wintour, that's part of the Condé Nast empire.
The Condé Nast empire, imagine with Rupert Murdoch, with news stations,
exactly.
This is with magazines.
Actually, dude, it's so hard because the audience here is going to be young, so they don't even remember the Vanity Fair heyday. Like, this was a big fucking deal.
Before blogs, before like your favorite Instagram page, there were magazines.
This was the beating heart of American culture. Vanity Fair magazine, The New Yorker, Vogue magazine.
Newspapers were information, and magazines were more like op-ed, right?
Yeah, magazines were not just op-ed. They were actually the places where this type of journalism, I mean, there's stories at Condé Nast about guys were getting paid $500,000 a year. They would write 3 stories a year. But they would spend 6 months like Vicky Ward.
Because it was real investigative journalism.
It
would change the face of the country.
Some of my favorite journalists, there's a guy named Dexter Filkins at the New York. He spent like 6 months. One of my favorite war reporters. They'll go out and report for 6-7 months.
There's conspiracy theories about
like
it
a
now.
10,000 word article.
Theoretically, Watergate, whatever the conspiracy theories aside, that's journalists breaking a story that caused a president to resign, changed the trajectory of the entire world.
And now when it happens and you see like a 20-page article in the New Yorker or something like that, you're like, who the fuck reads this? And nobody really reads it. But at the time...
Oh, it was everything.
And that's why like our parents, and I think that we're probably a little bit even too young, us. Maybe you, just because you're involved in journalism so much.
I have read about it, so I can contextualize it, but I never experienced it.
But this was the heyday of like information, and it created habitual reading, right? Just my parents had a subscription to New York Magazine and New Yorker, and like every single, when does it come out? It's weekly? Yeah.
It used to be. I don't know anymore.
But it's like, so they're reading it every single, and the pieces that are in there, the assumption was that these were like real investigative journalism pieces, and they're uncovering truths that take months and months to put together. So they really gained like the support and trust, at least of maybe like, I don't want to say, like more like coastal elites.
It's what you just described, the global elite. The global elite is very small. It's like maybe 10,000 people who run the entire world. And actually, that might even be a little bit generous. And they're all subscribing to Vogue. I mean, look, Anna Wintour is still an icon amongst the super rich. So like, obviously, it really matters. So Epstein basically uses the threat of legal action to shut down any mention of his intelligence ties, which he's confronted with directly, any mention of the sex trafficking and the pedophilia accusations, and all of it is dropped from the Vanity Fair article that culminates in the 2002 story, Who is Jeffrey Epstein, the Mysterious Man of New York? But it insinuates things about being with women, and he knows everybody. He's friends with Harvey Weinstein. He's friends with all of New York society. Everybody seems to know him. You have the quotes by Donald Trump and others. And so what we see there is 2002 is a very important year because it shows his power to shut down Graydon fucking Carter, his power to bring the Condé Nast empire to bear and say, no, you're not reporting any of this. The power of using Harvey Weinstein and others to basically call all the journalists and other people around him and say, I'm going to sue the shit out of you if you report even one word of this.
Now, it's important to note that like shutting down stories is quite common. If you have a PR agency or something like that.
Well, especially at that time.
At this time.
When access really mattered.
I would even say now, like you have a PR agency or something's about to release on TMZ, and you know somebody over there at TMZ, you're like, yo, can you just not put out this story?
If you hold this, I'll give you an exclusive on
Catch
this in the future.
But there's a quid pro quo, which is like, if you don't release this, I'll give you the first dibs on this story coming out with this album release. So that is it is quite common practice. But to shut down a story that's making an allegation or multiple allegations this big, you need to have some serious weight and some serious quid pro quo.
Yes.
I think it's got to be more than just lawsuit, because these people, I mean, they're lawyered up to the gills. Like if you run Condé Nast.
That's what I was trying to say. To understand how extraordinary this is Condé fucking Nast.
This is a massive. I mean,
dude, even me and you and others, when people are like, I'm going to sue you, I'm like, yeah, good fucking luck. I'm like, all right, I've got insurance. I'm like, and I know how the First Amendment works, and New York Times versus Sullivan. I'll be like, I'm going to eat your fucking legal fees for lunch, and I'll see you in court. All right. Because of the legal standard, if you are a public figure, like Epstein was basically at that time, the bar for defamation and libel is so incredibly high. I actually really support that. I mean, it's one of my key differences with Trump is I think it's a good thing because it allows for
journalism.
Well, not just that. We can fucking go for it. We can go for it without fear.
So let's not.
Yeah. Let's not get carried away here.
We'll get into that in another thing.
And then why does he agree to this article? Is it just hubris?
Epstein?
No,
he didn't agree to it.
Article
Vicky
down.
Ward was assigned. Epstein did not want this to happen.
Oh, really?
He never wanted any of this to come out.
They changed the article to make it less accusatory
less
and
salacious.
salacious.
You can actually go and read it
I don't
today.
think we're understanding how crazy this is. He intimidated Graydon Carter basically to take out a lot of the salacious
things. Out the intelligence.
With a fucking bullet and a dead cat.
Yes.
We've seen The Godfather.
It's
the same thing.
It's literally mob
Instead of a horse's head, it's a dead
It's crazy.
cat.
And there's no way to prove that he was the one that did it, but having those...
He's not... Listen, Graydon certainly believed it, and Graydon works and has dinner with the most powerful people in all of New York.
Has he spoken about this
He has certainly not. He has not actually answered a whole lot of questions about this, so that's an important thing.
But does he give comment to Vicky Ward here?
Huh? Epstein goes on the record in some places, but we don't learn the full extent of all of their exchange until 2021, after he's dead, when she begins to reveal a lot of the stuff that she was actually had on the record in this story. So this is the very first known time of a major expose which would have really hurt Jeffrey Epstein if it had come out, that he's able to shut down. Eventually in the future, we see the same tactics with Good Morning America and with the Prince Andrew story, if you'll recall, of that famous video, the leaked video from CBS or ABC News, where she's like, I had this story, I had everything, and the palace shut it down. And Epstein and all of them basically came together, and we didn't want to lose our coverage of the royal wedding, and so we didn't publish any of this. And she's like, I had the story from day one.
We didn't want to lose our coverage of the royal wedding.
Exactly.
So we shut this down.
The Prince Andrew story.
We would have access to the royal wedding.
Yes.
So again, that's the quid pro quo. It's like, if you want to work with us, if you want access to this story that is going to probably sell way more ads than your Prince Andrew
the royal
story.
wedding was fucking huge. You remember that? Women in America got up at like 5 a.m. to watch it or whatever.
Yeah, which is so
which is wild.
embarrassing.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But Alex, go. It's good to ask questions about this.
Yeah.
I think we feel guilty asking because it looks like we're trying to create an out. I'm not trying to create an out.
I'm trying to
understand the totality of this and like where they would be coming from if they were going to defend it. So ask your question.
You said that's 2002 when she's working on the story.
Came out in 2002.
But then
it was published in March 2003, but it was reported throughout 2000.
But then she doesn't release the other part of the story until
after
20 years later.
Yeah, basically after he's dead.
That means you knew he was fucking kids. And you sat on it.
Well, she didn't have evidence, man. We're journalists. We can't say these things. No. See, this is very important.
This is
I can't just come out. Yeah, I can't just come out and say these things without evidence. You need to. And look, I talked about
done it to Mark many times.
But I talked about the barrier, the defamation stuff. Like you need to have some stuff on the record, and she did not have enough that they felt comfortable going forward with something like that.
I thought they felt comfortable. I thought they just took it out because of the intimidation.
They're claiming that it didn't meet the evidentiary standard. Vicky Ward says otherwise. Like, look, I could see the case either way, but the point is that what's come out afterwards is that Graydon Carter was terrified, and so it's not really about the story. It's that he was afraid to be able to publish this. So that is the context of his social power.